everyone, this is Dino Chris from Prehistoric Facts, and this is Prehistoric Facts special episode number 199. We're in the 2023. This is the first episode of 2023 for Prehistoric Facts, so let's get right to it with a carnivorous dinosaur. And that carnivorous dinosaur is Liliensternus. And so here is an artist rendition of what Liliensternus probably looked like. And so, yeah, let's keep on going here. Some information about Liliensternus. The name in Greek or Latin, Liliensternus means Lilienstern's lizard. So this is named after a scientist. Not necessarily the scientist that discovered it, but it's a scientist nonetheless. And the length is 16 to 17 feet, and it's 4.9 to 5.2 meters in length. Height is 5 feet or 1.5 meters. Weight is 280 to 140 or 441 pounds. 441 pounds. And so this is technically a small to medium-sized dinosaur, and it lived 210 million years ago in the late Triassic period. So this is in the early stages of the dinosaurs, and so the period where dinosaurs began, so to speak. But the first dinosaurs were like 20 million years before Liliensternus. But you get the idea. And fossils are found in Germany and was described by Huyn in 1934. So this dinosaur was around for a while, and it was found in Germany. So here is some images right here. So here's a map of Europe, and you can see the country that is circled in black in this yellow country in the middle in the northern part of Europe right here is Germany. And this tiny little dot in there, I don't know if you can see that, but it's around southern Germany is where Liliensternus fossils have been found. And here's a size chart of Liliensternus compared to a Labrador, a type of Labrador dog. And so it is larger than a Labrador dog, but it is kind of close to a human in terms of size, but not quite though in terms of height. But yeah, and it's got some pretty cool features I'll get to in later. And here is a drawing of the skeletal, possibly the skeletal holotype specimen. And so it's kind of hard to see. This is the best image I could find. And so the skull's not fully complete. There's some vertebrae have been found, a shoulder blade, nearly the entire hip bones, and so like the ilium, the ischium, and the pubis. So it's kind of all those bones here. There's a couple of like bones that have been found, but yeah, not too complete. So kind of like close to 50%, but not really. So yeah, it's actually somewhat of an incomplete specimen, so to speak. But I'm pretty sure there has been other specimens that have been found, but there's not many of them because late Triassic fossils are very rare. And so in terms of dinosaurs, so let's actually keep going here. Some more information about Liliensternus. It is part of the Coelophysoidea. So it's kind of related to Coelophysis and that type of family. So this is like an early theropod group. And so these are early theropods. So Liliensternus is considered to be an early theropod, and it's got a crest on the skull, which is somewhat debatable, but more likely it probably did have a crest on the skull. It's got blade-like teeth, possibility of 4 fingers. So early carnivorous dinosaurs, they actually had 4 fingers instead of 3, like most of the theropod dinosaurs did. And so, yeah, this is actually kind of a primitive type of theropod, but it is a very cool dinosaur nonetheless. Like I mentioned, it's an early theropod, and of course, it's a carnivore. The environment in where Liliensternus lived, it would have been warm and dry. It would have been wet and dry seasons. There would have been plenty of trees, ferns, and cycads. No grass and flowers during that particular kind of time in the late Triassic. Flowers did not exist until the early parts of the Cretaceous. And so, yeah, and grass came in during the time of mammals. And there would have been plenty of rivers, lakes, and ponds. And there would have been other types of animals there, like insects, amphibians, reptiles, the early mammals, pterosaurs, and some other types of dinosaurs. But dinosaurs were still kind of rare in the late Triassic, not totally becoming common until the Jurassic period when it came around. the prey that Liliensternus would have actually had, he would have been going after Plateosaurus, so the prosauropod or sauropodomorph that lived around that particular kind of time in Germany. Plateosaurus fossils have been found in the same places as where Liliensternus has been found, and so we all know that those two were predator and prey. Small to medium-sized reptiles would have been on the menu for Liliensternus, and of course carrion, so dead prey as well. The extinction of Liliensternus was mostly due to climate change and was probably due to caused by volcanic eruptions. And this is where the breakup of Pangea was already starting to happen. And so you actually start to have the splitting of uh, Laurasia and Gondwana land. And so this is where the southern hemisphere continents were moving apart from the northern hemisphere continents. And so that would be almost be in the beginning stages of the Atlantic Ocean. So the parts of the like little lakes, crevices, little lakes that would have actually been showing the birth of the Atlantic Ocean, then ultimately got wider and wider and wider, and that's where you have to see, and then that's where you see the beginnings of the Atlantic Ocean. And so, mostly due to volcanic eruptions, is the extinction that was caused for Liliensternus. And here's an image of what the late Triassic possibly looked like. And you can see this is Pangea, the giant supercontinent we all know. But you can see, and where North America and Africa are kind of connected right here, is you can see this little line here, that little sky blue line right there. That's pretty much where the birth of the Atlantic Ocean was actually starting to happen. So this is where tectonic plates come into play. Earthquakes and volcanic eruptions were happening in that particular kind of time as well. But this is the best image I could find. 210 million years ago is pretty hard to find out there. So 220 is the best I can do. And so this would have been a tad bit wider around the 210 million years ago. And of course, there would have been plenty of other things that were been happening at the particular kind of time. Geysers and other types of volcanic eruptions would have been happening and other earthquakes. But North America and Eurasia would have still been connected by the time of the early Jurassic, and South America, Africa, India, Australia, and Antarctica were actually connected together in Gondwana land. And so the top continent is Laurasia, bottom continent is Gondwana land. And so that's how the extinction of Liliensternus happened. But also that extinction, the end Triassic extinction, uh, was the beginning stages for dinosaurs to take over the landscape on that particular kind of time to the beginning of the Jurassic, because at that kind of time the Archosaurs were still considered the top predators, and they would have been, and a lot of other types of reptiles were actually rulers of the world at that particular point in time. But dinosaurs were starting to get bigger and also starting to take their foothold onto the land to take over at some point. And that extinction, the end Triassic extinction, was the beginning of that, is the beginning of when dinosaurs took over. And so the next episode will be on January 12th, 2023, and there'll be a Q&A episode. So if you got any questions about dinosaurs or other prehistoric life, feel free to email me at dinochrist71@gmail.com, or just go on my Facebook page, Prehistoric Facts with Dinochrist. Like the page, you actually put your questions in the comment section. Please put them in the comment section. Don't put them in messages for private conversations. So please put your questions in the comment section. And for you YouTubers out there, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and according to my analytics, a lot of you guys are checking out my channel and not subscribed yet. So please hit that like button, because it helps out the algorithm and helps out the channel and gets spread, and also it spreads out the channel to other people that are interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. And also subscribe to the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe and stomp on that notification bell with your finger, not with your foot. Just your finger, stomp that notification bell so you can get weekly notifications of every video that comes out. And also for YouTubers out there, feel free to leave your questions in the comment section, because I do read them all. Your questions will mean a lot on those Q&A episodes, and keep it up. You guys are awesome and bringing me some great questions for the Q&A episodes to answer questions for. You guys are awesome, and keep on going. And and all that. And also share the video, share the channel to anybody that is interested in dinosaurs and other prehistoric life. And also make sure you keep your questions short to the point. You can also follow me on Instagram at dino.chris.pf. I post pretty cool stuff on there. You can also follow me on Twitter at CSGRALL. It's my Twitter page. I post pretty cool stuff on there as well. Also, take care of the people around you. And also, for your younger people out there, make solutions and parents and teachers and the guardians, it's best motivation you can have for a good education. It's very important to have good education. Because with a good education, you get a good job in the future. And since that the 200th special episode is coming up, and also the 200th Q&A episode, and so I want you guys to do something for me. Give me suggestions of what prehistoric animal you want me to talk about for the 200th special episode that will happen in a few weeks. Because I want your suggestions, so that way I can give you the best information on that prehistoric animal. It could be a mammal, it could be a reptile, it could be a dinosaur, a bird, amphibian, a fish, marine reptile, pterosaur, you name it. Please feel free to give your suggestions to me in the comment section down below, so that way I can actually determine what kind of prehistoric animal gets the most suggestions. I want the best suggestions out there. So with the most suggestions that are coming up in the comment section, I'll put them on a poll on YouTube for you guys to check out, and so that way you guys can vote for what prehistoric animal you want me to talk about for the 200th episode. So please give your suggestions in the comments section down below for what kind of prehistoric animal I should talk about for the 200th special episode. That's it for now, and I'll see you guys next time.